This is Caroline, Willy, and D-Mace.
Who is pleasant to listen to.
With Caroline Fenton, Willy Donick, and former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason.
You are hands down my favorite radio personalities of all time.
On 102.5 and 106.3, The Game and the Game Nashville app.
With no further ado.
Woohoo! Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase, the first edition. Welcome in and happy 2023 to y'all. Happy 2023 to everybody. This is the first of Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase, and I've got a bunch I want to get into. The NFL as a whole, the Titans. We'll talk to Mike Vrabel as he takes the podium at noon. But before we get into all of that, I just want to let everybody know, set the expectation for what they can expect from Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase. I'm taking over the chair from Chase, but everyone can still expect the same kind of energy, and I want everybody to know whenever you're listening to 102.5 The Game in your cars, or you're streaming on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook Live, or video streaming every single day, I want everybody to know that we will be talking about what you want to hear about anytime you tune in from 11 to 2. When you're talking about it, we are talking about it. I want to make sure that everybody feels smarter anytime they tune in to Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase, even if it's just for a segment, if it's for the entire show. You feel smarter, you look at something a different way, you feel something different, you laugh, you cry, you get mad, all of the emotions, all of the above. That's what you're going to get every single day from Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase. How we doing, everybody?
Doing good, but then you come back and you listen to us again at 11 a.m.
Keep coming back.
Keep coming. Keep coming.
Oh, yeah. I like it. We're looking forward to this turning of the page, new era, new chapter. I love it. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to bring the energy, just like the song. Big energy.
Absolutely.
So we're going to get this cranking up.
So we need to get it cranking up.
Let's get it cranking up.
A lot going on.
This weekend was
it's a big
sports. Week. It was just like a bonanza of sports. I enjoyed every game that was played this weekend. It started off with college football, and it started off with the Tennessee Titans Thursday. Played a lot better. Didn't get the victory, but then it segued into the conference, playoff games, semifinal playoff games, some bowl games in there. UT, Clemson, great game there. UT dominated. So, Preds lost in overtime. They put up a good fight, but they scored a lot of goals, I tell you that.
They did put up a lot of goals. Philip Forsberg, I see now, just named, I'm trying to figure, they've been named the 3 stars for the week. It looks like Philip Forsberg, number 1 star. How about that?
All right.
Congrats.
All right. And I want to break down the Preds weekend and the game that they have at home tomorrow night. But D-Mase, I'm with you. It was a wild weekend of football at both levels, NFL and the college level. But looking at the NFL level, there have been so many things for so many teams that had to go right. Specifically, I'll look at the Steelers, for example. The Steelers at one point in the season were 2-7. I thought that this was going to be, unfortunately, Mike Tomlin's first losing season. I thought, all right, your first year with Kenny Pickett, you learn some, you move on to the next one. I didn't think that the Steelers would even be in the conversation. And then you look at the Steelers beating the Ravens. Everything needed to go right for the Steelers yesterday. They beat the Ravens, had some timely turnovers. Kenny Pickett made the throws that he needed to make. The Steelers have continued to fight, even from 2-7. Now they're at 500. They're 8-8, and the Steelers have continued to fight, and they're in the conversation. So, what exactly about the Steelers have made them continue to stay in the fight? Ryan Clark was asked about Mike Tomlin and what he has done for this team to make them continue to be in the fight. This was Ryan Clark.
What is it about him that allows him to continue to win at this level, even when, this year's team doesn't really look like it should be?
I think it's consistency. It's unwavering belief in who he is, in what he knows, and the way that he can communicate that to his team. The messaging never changes from Coach Tomlin because he believes in it that much.
So there you go. That was Ryan Clark on Mike Tomlin. So it's the belief, it's the constant buy-in, it's the consistency that even from 2-7 and now for the Steelers in the spot for a playoff hunt, the belief and the message has not wavered. And if you even look at the Buccaneers, this has been a really just atrocious season for the Buccaneers. This is a bad Bucs team. But Anthony Nelson, outside linebacker for the Bucs, was asked post-game about their belief in Tom Brady. This was Anthony Nelson.
It's almost like a sick joke because you're just sitting on the sideline 14-0 and you're like, 12 will do something. We'll figure it out. And then, eventually, maybe it's not that quarter, it's a quarter later, but, he starts making a couple plays and all of a sudden it's tied up. It's a close game again. And that really motivates us as a defense because we know, even if it's 14-0, we know if we can hold them the 12 and the offense will get us back in this game. So.
I mean, that's the Tom Brady effect, that no matter what, even if this Bucs team can throw games away, they always know they can believe in Tom Brady. They always know that they've got belief in their quarterback. Even look at the Packers, too. The Packers were a lowly team throughout this season, and now the Packers are in the hunt for the playoffs after a huge win over the Vikings this past weekend. So all of that to say, all of these teams that just looked like they were dead, that their playoff hopes were not alive. All of these teams have continued to fight. So look at the Tennessee Titans. They're a team that has dropped off. 6 losses in a row. Do the Titans still have that same belief in themselves that the Packers have in themselves, that Aaron Rodgers has had in this team, that the Steelers have in Mike Tomlin and they have in this team, that the Bucs have in Tom Brady, that have kept those playoff hopes alive? Do the Titans still have that belief in themselves?
Well, I mean, one, Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin is the best coach in the National Football League. People are going to start to believe this. What this man has done since he was named the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach to what he's doing now. The last 3 years, Ben Roethlisberger, at least the last 2 prior to this, wasn't the Ben Roethlisberger that led them to Super Bowls. Wasn't the Ben Roethlisberger that's going to ultimately be in the Hall of Fame. This was a limping Ben Roethlisberger. This was half of Ben Roethlisberger over the last 2 seasons. But Mike Tomlin, like Ryan Clark said, there's consistency there. They know what they expect. He never changes. He never wavers. I don't think there's any coach in the NFL that would have went and brought Brian Flores to their coaching staff after what went on. He did. Why? Because he's not wavering in what he believes. He believes that Brian Flores is a good coach, so he brought him to the system. The Pittsburgh Steelers organization has been a model of consistency and a model of, hey, listen, this is how we do things. We don't waver. We go in one direction and one direction only, no matter who's on this ball club. No one is bigger than the organization. That's how they ran. Tom Brady, he's the GOAT. He's always going to be in it, no matter what. Now, the the division is down, but yet and still, this Tampa team isn't as good as it has been. But with Tom Brady on the squad, you always have an opportunity. Same with Aaron Rodgers. You're talking about 2 guys that are going to be first ballot Hall of Famers. Matter of fact, you might as well give it to them now. You know, if they're on your team, you have a chance to win. Now we bring it all the way back to Nashville here in Tennessee. They have a really good coach, but that one guy that they're missing is Ryan Tannehill. People may not look at Ryan Tannehill as an elite quarterback. They don't look at him in the same realm as a Tom Brady or an Aaron Rodgers, rightfully so, because he has not accomplished the things that they have. But for this team, he's that guy. He's that guy that has that strength, the guy that has that poise, that toughness, not just physical but mental toughness. That's one thing that the Titans are missing. That quarterback that has those intangibles. Again, he's not Aaron Rodgers and he's not Tom Brady, but he does have the intangibles that the Titans need. And without him, they're searching for it. Derrick Henry will be back. I get it. But this team wins a lot because of the things that Ryan Tannehill does. They may not wow you, but he keeps everybody on a even plane. He keeps everybody calm. They don't get too high, they don't get too low. When things are going bad, Ryan steps in the huddle and he calms everything. He gets hurt, he gets back up and keep rolling. They need that guy back in their huddle.
They're not going to get that guy back in the huddle, but I still think they're going to believe. I think Josh Dobbs played well enough to where they will have a belief. And you give me Jeffrey Simmons, you give me Kevin Byard, you give me Danico Autry, you give me Derrick Henry. They're going to fight.
Mm-hmm.
I have no worry at all that they're going to go down there and compete. I think Jacksonville's playing really well. I agree everything we said about Mike Tomlin. Take note of Mike Tomlin. He's a guy that every year people are saying he's going to lose his job. Mm-hmm. This is it for Mike Tomlin. They always find a way to be competitive. I think there's this gravitational pull towards 8-8, 8-9. It used to be 8-8, but this league is built to have you go 8-8. Or 8-9, or 9-8. there's 13 teams right now in the league at either 8-8, 7-8-1, or 7-9. 13 of the teams. That's almost half. So that's the league. So you've got the Packers, who have been able to fight back after looking down and out. The Bucs have been an interesting team to watch. They look really ugly a lot of weeks. They found something. They found Mike Evans. Yesterday he hadn't scored since week 4, and all of a sudden he puts up huge numbers. Tom Brady wasn't able to get anything down the field for a month or so. You watch some games, it was a real struggle. Yesterday, all of a sudden he looks like Tom Brady, vintage Tom Brady, if you will. So it's weird how the league works, and I think the Titans just have to realize this is how this league works sometimes. Jacksonville has got to be looking back and saying, how in the world are we where we are? They lost to the Texans early in the season. They lost to the Broncos in London, where they blew the game. They've had a lot of games, if you look back, that got away. And they've outscored their opponents by 50 points for the season. But they're sitting there. They still need to win a game to win it. So if I'm the Titans, I just say, look, erase everything that's happened up to this week. We'll worry about next year when the season is over. Let's just live this week. Let's have fun this week, and let's see if we can play our way into the tournament. So I think you're going to see a loose, focused Titans team. Now we're just going to find out if they're good enough.
And I do think that you bring up a good point in Josh Dobbs, that if the Titans had not brought in Josh Dobbs and Malik Willis had continued to be under center, I don't know how much belief this team really truly would have had. Because I look at the energy that the Titans played with on Thursday night against the Cowboys, and I have to believe that difference was Josh Dobbs. Just hearing him post-game talking about, guys, we got to take this game one play at a time. Everyone looked bought into what Josh Dobbs had to say, and every player on that team, not even just offensively, but I felt like every player on the field in a Titans uniform looked re-energized, like they had something new to play for, that they had a hope in this team. And so now with Josh Dobbs under center, that renewed hope and that renewed energy, and also playing for a playoff spot, what don't you have to play for? How can you not go out there and believe in this team? But coming up next, I want to get into your phone. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'll get into your calls, your texts all show long. But what did you see yesterday that makes you think about the Titans' buy-in and their belief in this team and their hopes to make the playoffs? And what else did we see yesterday about how the Titans can play on Saturday against the Jacksonville Jags? We'll get into that coming up next. It is Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase. We are live from the Game Studio, sponsored by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Bowl season is here.
Keeps his feet out of a tackle, and it's a race now.
Catch all the action right here at 102.5, 106.3 The Game, and 94.9 The Fan.
Down the middle, right on the money, touchdown.
All the big moments of bowl season are presented by Boomba's Craft Pizza and Tap House, Pizza, Beer, Sports, headquartered in East Nashville, and by Superbook Sports.
My goodness, look out.
Bowl season is on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. If you missed the latest from Robbie and Rex Road,
One thing I do want to